You're recording now.
Hello everyone in the pagan and magical world. This is Douglas Helvey coming to you from New Bern, North Carolina. I'm also known as Lord Galen Firestorm, and I am the founder of the Eternal Harvest tradition of Wicca here in the United States, as well as the founder of the Coven of the Black Goat, which is a traditional witchcraft group that was taught to us by Peter and Linda Padden. I come to you today with a discussion idea. My discussion is on the idea that why should our gods and goddesses not help us in our lives more directly with problems that we run into? And here's where I'm going with this. For years, I have operated and worked my magic from a perspective that my Lord and Lady, my gods and goddesses that I work with or commune with, acted in more of a assistance sense versus a direct solving of my problems or taking them completely over, for a lack of a better way to put it. Recently, I've come to the conclusion, and I'm trying to work through this conclusion now, that our lords and our ladies, our gods and goddesses, seem to be more distant than I feel that they should be. Now, I have been a practitioner of magic in many forms since I was 8 years old, and that was in 1968. So I'm 56. I've been around the block a few times, magically speaking. Without going into heavy detail, I am in fact a third degree initiate of the Wiccan faith. I am a magister within traditional witchcraft of the cunning craft variety. I'm also an initiate of the African-based tribal religion called Lukumi, in which I work with the Athos spirits at times, and a number of other traditions in various disciplines. For 8 years now, I have been fighting the United States government, more specifically the Department of Veterans Affairs. Although it may not physically look like it, I am disabled. No, not physically. I have both my arms, both my hands, both my legs, and both my feet, as well as all my chubby little fingers. I will be posting this discussion, these thoughts of mine, and therefore opening myself up to the world. My disabilities are within the realms of psychiatric. When I was in the Navy, I was what's called a hospital corpsman for 17 of my 20 years. A hospital corpsman, for those of you who might not recognize the term, is not unlike a medic in the Army. During my time as a hospital corpsman, I also served alongside my brothers in the Marine Corps as what's called a field medical corpsman. I have seen and been in combat zones. I have worked on people who have gotten limbs blown off their bodies, whose internal organs were hanging out of their bodies. I can't even talk about the rest of it. It has caused me to have nightmares at times. It has caused me to be not very trusting of the world, and numerous other things. But let me get back to the subject of the gods and witchcraft. I have contemplated this for a fair amount of time, at least going on a year. Why should there be this concept, and this is widespread in the magical community, that our lords and ladies, our gods and goddesses, by whatever you call them, act in more of a guidance sense, passing on ideas that may help you versus direct intervention that could help you or help me, as I was previously speaking of. I'm not going to put into this talk how much money I can potentially have coming in as an end result of the final closing out of my VA case, but I will say this much. It will help me, my current wife, my 2 young adult autistic children, and my ex-wife to a very great degree. So I've taken this before my various gods numerous times. In all sincerity, I've lost count at this point. Now, in fairness, I finally have gotten my case to the point where I am in fact getting a monthly check for my disabilities. But that's month to month. The last part that I'm working on, or was working on, is what's called retroactive back pay. I've magicked on that till I'm blue in the face. I've gotten to a point where I have hired a well-known conjure man in the New Orleans, Louisiana area to take this case on for me and to bring these areas in my life to a close, and frankly bring me the money that would greatly enhance my life and help me pay down debt. So, back to the gods. Why is it that only people in the monotheistic beliefs have the perceived right to pray to, who knows, Jehovah, God, Allah, any of them, any of the monotheistic beliefs? These people are encouraged to pray to their version of God with the concept that they actually stand a half an ounce of chance of getting help. So I ask my magical compatriots out there in the occult community, why does it seem like we're not supposed to do that or expect such a degree of help from our gods and goddesses? Are they not as strong as the Christian God? I'd like to think in many ways they're stronger. Especially when we speak of ancestral gods. The gods literally of our ancestry. Be that what it may be. Now, I'm going to go back a few steps. In believing at this point in my life that my gods and goddesses should be more forthcoming with the help that I need and desire after countless rituals, after countless offerings, after countless prayers, sincere, deeply devotional prayers. Not begging, but just good old-fashioned prayers, candle burnings, spell castings, you name it. Why should I not expect the kind of help that I need just because our magics, our beliefs tend to differ obviously from that of the one God religions? Going back a few steps, having said all that, I'm not of the mindset that we should, like in some belief systems or magical systems, threaten our gods or goddesses or their statues or their icons with being put into boiling hot water, hung upside down, or anything like that. Hell for the for all intents and purposes, I actually do not believe that if a person works with, in the old language, a daemon, or if you prefer, a demon, that they should threaten that demon with burning its sigil or whatever other practices, a Luciferian, Satanist, or other practitioner of the left-hand path would do. And I'm not saying they all do that. However, some of the older practices indicate that this is a good idea. Burn the sigil, put the statue in boiling water. I would like to think, and I have always practiced, literally with one exception, I have always communed with my gods and goddesses in a very honor-invoking and spiritual way. I have given offerings. I have prayed. I have spellcast. With this particular issue in my life, I'm starting to wonder, where are my gods and goddesses? No, I'm not giving up on my faith. That's not it. I'm just wondering where my Lord and Lady's at in this particular time that I could use their help. So once again, why do a lot of people in the occult community think that we shouldn't be able to get literally direct assistance or our problems solved? I'm not asking to win the Powerball or the Mega Millions. I'm asking that my gods and goddesses dive in and assist me with closing out this long-standing case with the United States Department of Veterans Affairs. Thank you, and blessed be.